Close your eyes. I'll know if you don't. Turn back the clocks to 2012. Furby has staged a dramatic comeback. Beyonce and Jay-Z are doing the whole new parenting thing, and a Korean guy named Psy has got everybody in the world doing a horsey dance to a little-known track called Gangnam Style. Maybe you heard of it. You're on your way home from school, lounging in the backseat of your mum's Toyota Camry, wondering what game you're going to buy from the Xbox arcade with all that birthday money that you got. Fast forward, you're sprawled across your living room floor, Xbox 360 humming away in the corner, a world of possibility at your fingertips on the Xbox marketplace, and there, glowing like a beacon of indie hope, is Fez. A heartwarming little platformer about a tiny fella named Gomez. No, Blitz, not that Gomez. That one. And everything seemed normal until... Whoa! What's going on? This isn't like my favorite games Mario and Samus. This is completely new. This innovative mechanic spins your entire brain and makes you think that you too could also move into the third dimension, but in real life. Mom? I think I've slipped into that weird Simpsons dimension again. Help. But the internet loved it and nothing wrong ever happened ever again. Until... And let me check my sources here. Phil Fish, the designer and low programmer for the game, got into an argument with Marcus Beer and immediately cancelled a sequel and quickly disappeared from the spotlight until in 2023 came back and said, nah, none of that was actually real, I just didn't make a sequel. Okay, buddy, whatever you say. But what was it about Fez that made it an indie darling? A unique game mechanic. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about. Specifically you. I know millions of people are going to watch this video, but I'm talking directly to you, Caleb. Fucking idiot. Game mechanics. They can catapult a game from alright to alright. From whoa to whoa. And from darn good to some other hyperbole. I started this video idea off because of one game. And that game is... So it's 2021, and 343 drops the Halo Infinite trailer like the juiciest mixtape around, and Chief fans are ecstatic. They're losing their minds. They're like bees around a soda can. A new story, a new scary villains, and an infinitely expandable story? Huh. Hello, EB Games. Can I get 6 copies, please? This isn't a phone. Except none of those things worked out at all. The map was empty and boring. The villains were absolute pushovers and the RPG elements were just too simple. They were lackluster. So why did I have so much fun playing this game, I hear you ask? I've got 2 words for you. Grappling hook. Grappling hook. Oh my god, this thing was amazing. It is exactly like Donkey says.
Put a goddamn grappling hook in every game from now on.
The addition of such a simple feature made the game infinitely more fun. I'm swinging in the air, firing off sniper shots into grunts' fucking heads, grappling into an elite and stabbing him with an energy sword, all in one finessed movement. It was fun, it was easy to pick up, and it was hilarious to master. If I ever did something with a grappling hook that killed me, I was never annoyed, I was just laughing. And those rare, exhilarating moments where I cheated death with it, well, let's just say that my heart was playing that drum solo from that one Phil Collins song. So if I had so much fun playing Halo Infinite despite all of its obvious flaws, is it still a bad game? Yes. But here's the real brain teaser. Can a killer mechanic like the grappling hook take a mid-tier or a bad game and make it good? What a good question. I wonder if I'll answer that over the course of this video. A cartoony FPS shooter with a FIFA Street 3 style and eyes looking straight ahead at becoming the next COD killer. Brink in 2011 boasted heavy customization, a large variety of weaponry, fun voice acting, and parkour. The advertising was literally everywhere. It was on TV, it was on the sides of trains. I distinctly remember someone knocking on my door, Jehovah's Witness style, just to ask me, have you pre-ordered Brink yet? It was crazy. Part of the hype, though, was the trailers that were just showing off the movement. You had characters scaling things to get to high ground, flipping off walls, picking up dual pistols, firing them until they went dry, throwing them away immediately, leaping over cover to grab a shotgun, popping up, and just fucking boom, 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 boom! It just looks so fluid and so fun. And back then, my school was going through like a bit of a Gun-Z obsession. So this trailer had me hyped the fuck up. Then that fateful day arrived, May 10th, 2011. And boy, it was like biting into a sandwich only to find out that it was made of rocks. Here's the thing though, that parkour mechanic, that tantalizing morsel of possibility, it kind of worked. Look, not as smooth as we were led to believe. Like, it didn't look like this. But it worked. You could jump over barricades and over objects pretty smoothly. There was a faint hint at wall running. You could even slide into cover. The rest of the game was just so bad. It was widely critiqued over the internet for its boring and repetitive gameplay. The TTK, or time to kill, was way too slow and not satisfying, and the gunplay just sucked. Sadly, the parkour system at Brink didn't win over the audience, but it did catch the eye of a couple developers, and pretty soon, things like mounting became kind of a staple. Call of Duty implemented a more robust traversal system that included proper animations of you climbing through windows and over barricades. Titanfall introduced a fun and intuitive movement system that incorporated a lot of things perfectly that Brink did okay. I'd like to think that we would have gotten these mechanics anyway. But it was our excitement at the thought of this in 2008 that I think prompted developers to really focus on their movement systems in pretty much every FPS that followed. Brink crawled so that Titanfall could gain a 180 into a mech suit. At least no other game messed up movement mechanics ever again. Death Stranding was Kojima Productions' first project. After the absolutely disastrous development of Metal Gear Solid 5, where Kojima was told to cut as many corners as possible, he went and worked on a new game with his new team at Kojima Productions, under the very sneaky alter ego of 7780 Studios. And eventually, he released the demo for a game titled PT. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Take the footage off the screen right now, Blitz. I'm freaking out just thinking about that lady. PT, or Playable Trailer, became an almost instant hit. It is even to this day held up as one of the scariest games / demos ever made. And when the ending of that trailer showed that Ninkus Dinkus, that guy from that very good show that never got bad, The Walking Dead, was going to be the protagonist, people, including me, lost their fucking minds. But then something went horribly wrong.
As you noticed, Hideo Kojima is not here with us tonight, and I want to tell you a little bit about that. Mr. Kojima had every intention of being with us tonight, but unfortunately he was informed by a lawyer representing Konami just recently that he would not be allowed to travel to tonight's awards ceremony to accept any awards.
Konami, in what was seen as a masterstroke of bad decisions, gave Kojima the boot. They axed Silent Hills and channeled all their resources into something called... No. I won't even say the name. I won't even draw attention to the game that Konami brought out after they fired Kojima. But Kojima is a gangster. He went, screw it, I'll make my own dope game. And Death Stranding was born. Max, isn't this supposed to be a video about video game mechanics and not about Hideo Kojima? Hold your horses, brother. We're getting there. It's called narrative tension. Death Stranding was Kojima's love letter to video games. His dream? To offer you a playable showcase, a museum, where you could see all of the games that kindled his specific love for video games. Death Stranding has motorbike. Death Stranding has ladder. Death Stranding has stealth. Death Stranding has Street Fighter. Death Stranding has falling over when you walk. I can feel the footage behind me. just stumbling fucking off a mountain and losing packages, and it's making me angry. It's making me genuinely angry. I think I might need to take a break. In what world, Kojima, did you think that making a game where I can fall over at any time and lose all of my progress would be fun? I swear to God, if you or anybody mentions getting over it or only up to me, I'm going to reach through this camera and I'm going to fucking smack your little bottom. I'm going to give you a fucking little smackety smack. Death Stranding was poised to be Kojima's magnum opus. He was finally unchained from the corporate beast that was Konami. Turns out, Kojima might need a slight tug on the old leash. And not in the kinky way, okay? Whatever that glorious man wants to do in his free time is his own business. He birthed Snake Eater. He's untouchable. I can actually forget all this. Full U-turn, 10 out of 10. Kojima's a saint. He can do no wrong. Put Kojima here. Death Stranding was supposed to blow me away. It was supposed to be the game that I played in my nursing home. It was supposed to be a game that I revisited time after time. It was brimming with exciting ideas and slick mechanics, but the walking, the running, the falling, the face planting. Ugh. I knew that I was going to talk about Alone in the Dark when I was first coming up with this video. It copped a 3 out of 10 from IGN, of all people. I guess the game didn't make you feel like you were alone in the dark, which, to be fair, is kind of accurate, considering there wasn't a split second where an NPC wasn't screaming out for help only to die instantly. This game was trash. It was a proper dumpster fire. It was so horrifically bad that the developers built in a get-out-of-jail-free card, the ability to skip ahead at will. Are you bored with this mission? Us too, buddy. Skip the whole thing. We even included a handy little previously on segment so you can still feign interest in the plot. But just like Death Stranding, Alone in the Dark had its own bouquet of unique features that helped add to the excitement and immersion. Let's take this scenario as an example. Are you about to get mauled by a zombie and need a quick getaway in a car? Well, tough luck. This isn't GTA, idiot. Find the car, smash the window with your gun, unlock the door, hop into the driver's seat, and now you can find the key. Is it in the glove box? Is it in the sun visor? Is it in the... Oh, it wasn't the sun visor. All right, well, I mean, just put it in the thing and then start the thing, and then now you're off. You're gone. See ya. Holy shit, I can't believe we made it out of there. Hopefully nothing else horrible happens in our entire trip. In Alone in the Dark, you have to heal individual injuries, combine objects to create weapons, fire travels realistically, electricity interacts with the environment. You have to blink to clear your vision. What the fuck is going on? None of this stuff made the game good, but it was pretty cool. And if I'm being honest, I have thought about those mechanics quite regularly. Some games ended up adopting these systems as well. SCP Lab Rat, for example, introduced the horrifying mechanic of having you blink manually, all whilst being chased by a monster that could only attack you when you weren't looking at it. AKA, had your eyes closed. AKA, all right, enough of this topic. I'm officially freaked out. Can we move on now? Mafia III was widely panned by critics, and we as players bullied the devs a lot about releasing an honestly insulting game that made us look back at the other Mafia games like Mafia 1 and Mafia 2. Like, were these even good? They were. They were good. They were very good. Mafia 3 ruined it. But the underboss mechanic is so good. Taking over businesses and districts and assigning them to specific bosses that each had their own individual wants and ambitions. Imagine Lincoln as a cutthroat CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, strategically delegating responsibilities to his middle managers, the underbosses, across various departments, rackets. They're basically temporary punching bags, bearing the brunt while Lincoln, the tireless corporate shark, gnaws at the rest of the company. Hungry for a promotion, underbosses throw in sweeteners. Think of it as overtime with a smile. On top of their daily grind, all to secure the racket for themselves. Once Lincoln has single-handedly solved the departmental issues and the big bad boss of the district is, let's say, in the great submarine in the sky, he calls for a boardroom bloodbath to sit down, He christens one underboss as the permanent sacrificial lamb, the newly appointed CEO of the entire troubled district. Who will inherit the golden ticket to corporate misery? You, the player, get to decide. Just remember, it doesn't have to be the ones already slaving away at the rackets. Choose the one that you think deserves the maximum career development. These choices led to rewards and consequences, with some underbosses wanting to thank you by giving you access to weapons and vehicles that you wouldn't usually have access to, while some underbosses, feeling left out, might get a little bit upset and maybe don't want to hang around anymore. This was cool, but it just wasn't enough. The game was a slog. It was more interested in just dumping you into the open world rather than stringing together a compelling story with engaging missions. In Mafia 2, every mission, it had weight. Even the drive from point A to point B meant something. It added depth to the characters. In Mafia 3, you were stuck doing fetch quests and business takeover missions that they felt like afterthoughts. The only reason that you did any of them was so that you maybe had a shot at doing one of the actual 11 missions in the game. This mechanic was tried by a couple other games, most of those games sharing a very similar pretense with Mafia 3. The one that comes to my mind is The Godfather Part 2 on the Xbox 360 and PS3, and that didn't save that game either. So what's my point? What is the point that I am making? Well, I think that there are some seriously talented and innovative people developing the games that we play. I think that people have really, really unique ideas, and luckily for us, they have the ability to translate these ideas into gameplay mechanics that are engaging and fun and interesting. But just as the excitement starts to bubble and the game starts to get that PlayStation Platinum level of quality, I feel like a swarm of bigwigs and executives must just descend like a plague of locusts, gobbling up all the innovation and leaving us with something akin to a microwaved burrito. Warm and promising on the outside, cold and disappointing within. When you find yourself playing these games, ones that have somehow Frankenstein together some neat mechanics, it's like unearthing a time capsule. You see glimpses of what could have been the gaming equivalent of sliced bread, examples of developers that have gone on to work on large projects where that mechanic was not on the side, but at the forefront. So the next time you see a so-so game that seems to be brimming with untapped potential, give it a shot. It could be fun. And after playing games for 30 years, I think that's what we're all here for. Video games are supposed to be fun. Except for Escape from Tarkov, that game is the fucking worst.